Well, good morning. I know. Been a while, right? It's been a long year. We're here. We're about to go bust some brush. I'm out here in the national forest, and it's just been a while since I've been able to get out. But going to scout a new area today, just in preparation for this season. This is all new to me, and hope this video finds you well. Appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. I'm going to check out a whole new spot, and I'll tell you why. Not that I don't have some other good spots I'm going to be hunting this year, but I think a big key to make sure you have the best spot every year is to have spots that are maturing from year to year. Every year that goes by, you put in a little bit of time, you're gaining more and more knowledge of those spots. And every year those spots are maturing for you, and they're maturing to the point where you understand how you might want to hunt it, what deer are there, how you can access it, what kind of pressure it gets year to year, and you can begin to kind of categorize what might be some of your best spots. And every year that goes by, you've got different spots that are maturing at different times in your benefit, right? You do that for 6, 7, 8 years, and you've got this top tier, spots that you've broken down over the years, and you've got all this base knowledge. It's a process. It takes a little time. That is what I have found to work best. So every year I've got these spots that I've been going in and out of, but I haven't even hunted yet. But like that second or third year, I might be like, okay, I think I've got it now. This spot it's matured to the point that I'm ready to hunt. That's just me. Not that I don't go in and bust in something and just hunt it immediately, but I have found that has allowed me to be a little bit more successful, at least in being confident when I go in. So I forgot the bug spray today, so we're probably going to get eaten alive. I want to scout this because I think there's some very specific bedding features in this whole landscape. This is like a 400 or 500 block. That's usually the block that I like to choose from, a typical size that I can break down. And we're going to start working through it. So hopefully we see some deer, see some good signs, some historical sign, checking out this access, and let's get after it. I'm excited. Alright, well, as usual, it's going to take the camera a while to adjust, but I'm working my way down the edge of this point, kind of side hilling this point on the south side of it. The point kind of runs kind of from south to kind of like northwest. As soon as I got to the bottom of the point, haven't found any sign, haven't jumped anything, but as soon as I got to the bottom of the point, got my first sign of historical sign, and it's right here, where we got a habitat edge that starts back here. There's like a small drainage crossing, and it's right here at the end of the point. So, just another example of compounding features. Slow down and start to look for that historical sign, and turn around and look behind you, because you see things like this. So that road there has definitely been used for multiple years. So it's at least a good start. From this point, I'm just kind of looking for, you can see over here, there's an edge that starts right there. There's another edge that starts over there through that clearing. So that's where I want to be, just walking. So, a lot of hog trails as usual. So, another reason I chose to come in this area is we've had a ton of rain this year, but it hasn't rained for several weeks, and this is a lowland area, and now I can come through here and check for tracks, see what's in here right now. And sure enough, we went another 20 yards, cut this big track. He's got some big dew claws coming out the back. He's coming across this creek, kind of moving from east to west. So that is a damn good sign already. There's a live, good sized heavy buck in here. And we haven't been in here for 15 minutes. Man, it looks like the track could have slid a little bit, but not much. Oh yeah, that's like, yeah, that's like super soft. Still pretty soft, so that was probably made within the last 24 hours. So I'll walk it out this way a little bit. See where we can go. Why does this always happen? I don't always have to have this. Cross my mind again. 10 yards from the track. Alright, so I'm back there. I kind of pulled myself out of the bottom. I ran into a little bit of hunter sign, getting closer to the private, so maybe the private folks are coming over and setting up and hunting. But I reminded myself why I wanted to come out here, and I wanted to hop these points. I came out here and there's a big, huge cluster of oaks right here. White oaks and red oak. So I got up just up the point on the heaviest topo layer, and I'm just following it around. And I come across there's two old rubs right here. And it looks like definitely looks like a scrape location. Oh, it definitely looks like a scrape location from last year. And this is where I want it to be. It's right at the base of the point, with potential bedding up here in between the drainages where they get up and come down this trail. You can see this old scrape site right here. That scrape must have lasted a decent while. There's an old rub right here. There's some historical rubs right here on this tree. I'm getting under here. I don't see any tracks in this, but you can see that licking branch right there is broke. So is that one. So is that one. And the tips of those are broke off. And it looks like could have been one right there. Probably one right there. Some low-hanging branches on this side. This will be interesting to maybe come back and check during the pre-rut, or come in here and set up a mock scrape and see if we can't get this thing active again. Let's keep moving and see if we can find something similar. Here we go, so I'm still working my way up this point. I got to this little cluster right where it starts to get real thick. There's a rub right here. Right here on this trail. There's a rub, old rub right there, an old rub right there, and an old rub right there. And those kind of look like early season type rubs. So I want to push this a little bit. So when you're following these rubs, you can notice I followed this trail right here. There's another trail coming in over here. There's another one that comes down over this log. and one right here. So that tells me that cluster of rubs right here by this trail crossing means this is could be just a slight little staging area for when these oaks down here start getting hot. If there's any deer bedded up on this point, they start filtering down. This is a crossing and a stage up right here, and I'm about 80 yards from the bottom or so. Some buck sign in here at least, so if I can move a little further, then I'm going to cut over across the ridge. Remember, these ridges aren't very big, guys. I mean, it could be just a 4 or 5 foot elevation and then just ride it over slightly. But just marking the sign as we find it and go over. So I'm just working my way through this bottom right here. It just looks like this. You can tell where kind of the flood line is. So I'm walking this green edge and come across this scrape tree. I can't tell if somebody cut that off or if that was broke off. That is very hard to tell. It looks a little too clean. Maybe not cut last year, but it's definitely looks like a scrape area. Another big low hanging branch that was kind of looks like it was broke off. Oh no, what do y'all think? It broke off by a person, but why would a person do that unless they were, taking the scrape branch to another location? But what I did notice is right here, there's just an explosion of green foliage. There's all sort of muscadine vine in here, a little bit of elephant's foot growing around, some little bitty sprouts of beautyberry. But it's just, you can see this is just a green patch. It's nowhere else, right at the base of this point. So these can also be good feeding areas. So I didn't see very much browse. I don't see a whole lot of tracks right now. But always stop and go over and check these big pockets of just green whenever you're having trouble finding it. Okay, so I don't want to go too close to the crossing again, but there's a crossing going through right there. Another one coming through right here, and there's at least like 2 different sets of buck tracks down in there coming up on this point. It kind of splits across like this. I had trouble finding a tree for a camera. Starting to think I wasn't going to hang any cameras, but there's a big deadfall. So they're coming around this trail. And they're coming right here, and this pinches down on this point. There's a deadfall behind me. So I hung the camera right there. I piled up a bunch of brush to try to kick them around. I don't really like. I put it up higher, but I was scared they're gonna cross too close in front of it, but I think I'm just gonna go with that. And alright, I went ahead and moved that camera. I raised it up about 2.5, 3 feet. Get it up there. It just definitely feels better. So I'm gonna work my way around this blowdown, continue down through this bottom, and see what we see. I wish I could find a good set of doe tracks, a family group, and let me know where the does are living out here, but I haven't really found that yet, so that's kind of a bummer too. But let's keep moving. Well, I boogied on out of there, and a little bit underwhelming overall. Truth is, deer aren't in all the woods, and all the woods don't hold all the deer. So found a little bit of hunter sign, tried to backtrack some of those tracks, just never really got into a lot of deer sign, not even does. Didn't locate any doe groups. Found some little clusters of isolated sign, that looked like it could have been like bachelor group type sign from last season. So it dropped one camera on that creek crossing and just never really got into anything, never jumped anything. But that's cool too, because, you know, I'll gather a little bit of intel, and if that doesn't work out, then on to the next place. So, you know, just trying to build that inventory, that repertoire of spots, you know, that are constantly maturing from year to year. That way you're always have the options. If somebody moves into one of your great spots, tears it up, you've got other spots that you're constantly gathering information on, and you're ready to hunt. You're ready to go. So appreciate you guys watching. It's gonna be an awesome year. We've got some cool stuff coming up. It feels so good to be back, and we'll see you on the next one.